Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey, hey, hey.
I'm Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
We are Brunch with Besties podcast. Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 60.
Wow. We getting there.
We getting there.
Every week, we getting there. Haven't missed a week. We tight.
We so tight.
I know, right?
Unlike other things, right?
I know, right? At least the pod is consistent.
Yes. So we are doing part 2 of Get the Guy.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Part 2 of Get the Guy. So before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do with a toast.
All right. So I'm going to give my toast this week to our Good News Radio family. A lot of great things have been happening with the Good News family. So if you all don't know, our show, Brunch with Besties podcast, is also syndicated in Los Angeles. That's where the Good News Radio is based. So you can hear our podcast through their app. So make sure you go ahead and download their app on everywhere where you get apps and apps are sold. It's free. You can listen to Brunch with Besties podcast every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there's a whole lineup of really dope other podcasts that you can listen to as well. So yeah, I just wanted to give them a shout out. They're definitely making some changes. Shout out to Keith Good News, the founder and CEO of the Good News radio station. And they over there working. Hey Jackie, hey Robbie D, hey everybody. So a lot of great things are happening. Hey Jackie. A lot of great things are happening that way, and we're just excited to be a part of the brand.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes. My toast goes to our diehard listeners.
Yes,
man, because there's a few. So there's a lot, but these are the ones that we know are listening because they're always commenting, always DMing, always throwing shade. Some of them,
sometimes
so it's
all good. We love you for real.
We still love you. So just to name a few, Brittany Humphrey.
Yes, Britt is a faithful listener. Like it's a religion. Yes.
Mama Penny D.
Yes, my mom loves our show. And she was like, I'm not listening to anybody else's podcast with y'all.
Eminem, Miss Miranda Murphy.
Yes, shout out to her. And we're going to talk about you later. So
Miss Blossoming Flower.
Yes. Oh my God. Sent us the hilarious meme.
Yes, both of them did. Miranda and Miss Blossoming Flower. They came for us hard this week. But it was accurate. So hey, when people call you out and it's true, it just is what it is.
It is what it is,
It is what it is. And Miss D. Lou.
Yes.
Always showing love, always listening. Also, Miss Taisha.
Yeah, Taisha's always listening and
Potty
posting
Pearls.
us. Miss Potty Pearls herself is a wonderful listener. We appreciate all of you all.
Yes. So shouts out to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Before you get going with our next one, we have a new review. I don't know if we read this one. We haven't read a review in a long time. But we do have a new one.
Go ahead. If you want to skip through the agenda, then go ahead.
Hey, my bad. Because I feel like we were shouting people out. So I was like, okay, But this one is from Munchkins82. I don't know who this is, but thank you, Munchkins82. This is great. But the title is Great Podcast. It says, glad I found out about this podcast while listening to another podcast that recommended this one. These women are smart, funny, and honest. I really enjoy listening. Keep up the good work, and thanks for providing positivity and self-love.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Yes, thank you. That is really dope. Well, we appreciate you for finding us, and hopefully you'll become a loyal listener as well.
Yes. Now let's go ahead and break bread.
Okay.
So what's going on, girl?
I'm just out here in my new role and, trying to get that under my belt at work. I feel like I'm learning a lot and I'm doing good. People ask me all the time, like people stop me like, you like what you do? Like this, and yeah, I really do. Like, I'm not in a classroom, so I get a different feeling. Now. I'm free from the classroom. And I just feel like people are respecting me in this role and kind of asking for my guidance and help, which is really awesome. So
be a resource.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about where it's going to go. And yeah, it's been going well. So that's really all that's been going on with me, aside to my dating life. But I'll save that for when we talk about Get the Guy. So yeah.
Alrighty, what's going on with me? Okay, so Urban Bike Night.
Yes.
Urban Bike Night is done. Look at God, won't he do it?
Yeah, it was great.
It was fun. It was so much. It was actually our biggest turnout about 1,300 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
But we were competing with Kevin Hart, who was in town for a comedy show, and then Bobby, Ronnie, Ricky, Mike, who's there for a concert, which I wanted to go see both,
right?
But I couldn't because I had to do my own event.
Right? They said, forget this event. I'm trying to go see Bobby Brown.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about telling the team, like, hey, y'all got this.
Right? It's on y'all.
Go live. I'll catch it.
But y'all
let
got
me
this.
know. Right?
Y'all good? Y'all need anything?
Right. Last call. I'm rolling out. I didn't think about it, but I was like, okay, you got to be here because it's yours. But no, it was amazing. The weather held up really nice for us because obviously it's an outside event. Man, we had a great sound competition. We had a great paint competition and best overall bike competition. And the women came in with some bad bikes to the point where we actually had to extend the registration because I was like, no, we're going to get them in here.
Wow.
We were actually closed, but they pulled in with some one-of-a-kind, very unique motorcycles. So, hey.
Yeah, what was that crew called from Florida, the all-women one?
Oh, the one from Florida. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I can't think of it.
We'll have to post about him, but that was amazing.
But
like,
yeah,
shout
they
out to
did.
them.
They actually, some of them came from Florida and some of them came from Massachusetts, and they met here at Urban Bike Night. So they were traveling on the road for 3 days to come to Milwaukee for our event. We also had some people there from Canada. There were people there from everywhere.
Wow.
So people are coming out, man. I'm excited about it.
Yes, it was awesome. So, next year's year 4, and it's going to get bigger and better.
Yes. We also had some great salsa dancers.
Oh, yeah.
That were out there as well, and they did a phenomenal job.
They did. They were super cute.
Yes. Definitely. So I'm just trying to recover. So you posted something and you said an extreme sport,
girl,
is going to work the day after you go out. And I was like, man, if this ain't the truth. I struggled so hard on Friday.
You and me both.
First of all, I looked a hot mess. I just came to work like however I wanted to come. I was like, it's Friday.
Girl.
I don't have any meetings with anyone important.
Girl,
leave me alone. Just be glad I'm here.
Yeah, it was struggling. Like, and it was weird because I have an office now too, and people like kept coming in my office when none of the rest of the week people were coming to see me, and I was like, no.
I know. Yeah,
my door's closed.
Yeah. It's hard, man.
Yeah, I was struggling. And we didn't even drink or anything, which was the crazy part.
Yeah, we just old.
There was no alcohol involved. Yeah. It was just all...
There's alcohol there. We just didn't partake. None. But, man.
It was all age.
So this is what happened. We were trying to do all the line dances.
That's what it was. It took us out.
That took us out because, apparently my squat game ain't that tight because it was a lot of leg work.
I was tired.
I missed plenty of leg days. Yeah. So, hey, that's the problem there.
I was tired. Like, after every one. Like, I got to tap out because this is too long. So.
The bottom of my feet hurt.
Yeah, my feet were messed up. But we had on inappropriate shoes. Like, you had on, like, riding shoes, and I had on, like, flat sandals, and my feet was on 10. I was just like,
so you saying that next year we're gonna have to wear like our orthopedic shoes?
I think so. Like, we're gonna have to get the Walmart joints, like something. My
Dr.
feet,
Scholl's.
yes, was hurt, but it was a good time, man. Like, that was a lot of fun.
Yes, great time. I'm glad it's over. I'm thankful for it, but I'm glad it's over.
Yes, until next year, Urban Bike Night.
Urban Bike Night. So, yes. So, let's move into the tip.
All right.
We are reading Get the Guide by Matthew Hussey. Join our book club. Get your free 30-day Audible trial. www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB as in Brunch with Besties. Now let's move into Ask a Bestie.
Yay. Oh, we got to Ask a Bestie. I'm excited. I'm excited. Look at us. You guys are just so great. Thank you.
So a couple things. So let's start with this. Actually, we'll start with Brittany. So shouts out to Brittany.
Okay.
Brittany was listening to another podcast and she heard us comment on something and wanted to get our insight. So I'm going to read her message. She says, I listened to a podcast called Them Black Mamas.
Clever name.
Right? That's awesome. And Brittany probably saw the title and was like, yeah. I'm gonna listen to this one. This one is for me. I low-key want to listen. I don't even have kids, but I feel like I should listen.
Hilarious.
Okay, I listened to a podcast called Dem Black Mamas. That's DEM.
Yes, Dem
Black Mamas. One of the ladies said, we have the misconception that being strong is the prize, but we need to understand that being strong is just being able to bear all things, take on burdens of others, make it through, and ultimately just survive. Instead, we should strive to be powerful, which means that we're in charge of our destiny. We decide what burdens we will and won't take on. We decide what we will say no to. And ultimately, we are in control of our choice. So rather than being strong, quote unquote, and forced to deal with the choice others have made for us. You guys alluded to not being able to accept help in today's episode, which I'm currently still listening to. But I think help/strong women will be a great topic. So she's looking for our opinion on. So in our last episode, we talked about how Matthew Hussey said, "Ask guys for help."
Yeah.
Or accept help when a guy offers it.
Yep.
So she's saying, what is our take on being powerful versus being strong?
That's good. That's good. I think thinking about those two things in the way that it was proposed in that podcast, which I haven't listened to, but I definitely want to go back and listen to them Black Mamas. Right. But I think being strong, especially when it's associated with a Black woman, it has that, withstand all, carry all, the weight of the world is kind of on our shoulders to kind of handle everything. And we should kind of move away from that and think about being more powerful and what that means, to say, okay, well, I'm not dealing with that, or I'm not going to allow this to be on top of my shoulders. So I think if we're thinking about strong versus powerful, like the mom and the woman that I want to be, I would say I want to be powerful. Like strong it's a lot of work. Like it's heavy. And sometimes you get weary, like being so strong all the time. And it's like, okay, well, I'm being so strong, but who's being strong for me? But when you're powerful, it's like, okay, I got this in me, and I can pick and choose what I allow to kind of interfere with my inner circle and my inner being. So when I look at it like that, then I'm definitely going to be like, yeah, I want to be powerful.
And I totally agree. I think that the way that it was portrayed, it definitely made you think about the actual definition.
Yeah.
So strong literally means having the power to move heavy weights or perform other physically demanding tasks. And I think that Black women take on that persona because historically we literally just had to endure everything. And as well as the Black man, right?
Sure.
But nonetheless, I think that has become our legacy.
Right.
As being able to endure. It's always in spite of.
And you listen.
Right. It's, like we're not the women that say, despite my best efforts, this didn't we're always like, in spite of, yet I rise, right? Yep. It's always, although there was all this opposition, yet here I still stand. So I think that we have been strong.
Yep.
Because we had to, but now there's a shift where we don't always have to be. We can choose, but I will say this. You can, deciding between strong and powerful is a choice,
right?
In the regard that we're speaking of, right? In terms of just bearing everything, there are some things even with our families we have to say, okay, like for example, some people feel the weight of their family if they're first generation to go to college or whatever. But you get to say no.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to guilt me.
Or none of that.
I'm not going to answer the phone. It was Steve Harvey. He talked about how he leaves his voicemail box always full because he was like, my family always calling me asking me for money that they ain't going to get.
Right.
So no, you can't leave a message. So no, I didn't get it and I'm not answering.
Yeah.
No, it's a choice. I have my own family.
Right. Yeah.
I'm someone's dad.
Yep.
Like, I gotta do this.
Yep.
So
yeah. And that's being powerful about who you are. And I think another good example of that would be, with what's going on with Serena Williams and the umpire kind of going in on her and trying to boycott her, but her speaking up to be like, no, like, you're wrong. You owe me an apology. Like, that's being powerful to me. Like, what she did was very powerful to be like, no, like, this not okay. Like, what you're not gonna do is try to tell me that I'm cheating because I don't do that.
And choosing
you owe me
to even just use her voice
absolutely was very powerful. Now, she could have just let the umpire go and kind of bore that to be like, okay, well, he said I was cheating, whatever. But she was like, no.
She could have done it and stood there and said, I'm not gonna cry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna hold this in. I'm gonna bite my tongue. I'm gonna be strong. But, right?
Yeah. But she was like, oh no, you gonna get this work today.
She was like,
yes, clapped her hands and everything. Like, you gonna get this work today. So I thought that was very, very powerful.
Same thing
with
Kaepernick, right?
Oh yeah,
you know what I was thinking about the other day, and this is real trifling, but I was like, what if in the beginning he really wasn't like taking a knee? What if he was like tying his shoes? And then it just like evolved into this whole big thing. And he's like, oh, I was just tying my shoes.
My bad,
They might want to check all the camera angles and see what he was really doing. No, I'm just playing.
Dang, I done started a movement.
Next thing you know, he with Nike. You know. Okay, no more Sherry shenanigans.
Oh, so when we have the biography and the bioptic of Kaepernick in like 5 years, then we gonna be like, that's how we did that. He was tying his shoe.
Yep.
Or he was looking for his eye contact or something, like something else.
Yeah, that's going to be like the meme that I put out there. I'm like, oh, my bad. I was just tying my shoes.
Sparking a revolution.
It's going to be like what you saw from this angle versus what you saw from the other angle. Then it's going to say, perception is everything.
It is everything. But, well, shout out to him, whether he was tying your shoe or not. But what he's doing is great work. And he's absolutely being powerful. And, you know, we love that. But that's good. Yeah. Shout out to Brittany again for that Ask a Bestie.
Another question based off of last week's episode.
Awesome sauce.
Last week's episode again was Get the Guy.
Part
1. This one comes from a amazing blogger. She goes by Wham Bam Cam Thanks Ma'am.
Oh, dope. Yeah, she follows Singles in the City. Shout out to her. She's definitely a supporter of Singles in the City as well.
She said, love this. Plan to re-listen, and congratulations to Chanel on the exclusive guy you're dating. Please share how you met him and how going from single to dating worked out for you. I'm really happy that you're with a man that's good to you. You deserve it.
Aw, she's so sweet. Thank you for that. So story time with Chanel. So no, the guy that I'm dating, we've known each other for a minute.
What's a minute?
For I want to say like a year or so. Like, met him. Okay, so backstory. So another podcast in Milwaukee, Sweats and Suits podcast. Shout out to them. They had an event at a bar, and it was like a meetup, like a meet and greet. Like, so podcasters, photographers, vloggers, other podcasts. So everybody was there. So this was like last summer when Chanel was like going out by herself because her friends wasn't on it. And they was like, no, you doing too much. Like, we ain't coming. So yeah, they was tired. And you know, I'm a teacher, so I don't work in the summer. So I was out like every day, and I went to this event by myself. And he was there. We didn't really interact that day that much, but we saw each other, and
the seed was planted.
So we were like introduced to one another. So then Sweats and Suits, they had some other events, and you know, we would go and support, or we would go out, we would see them like all the time, and he would be there because he takes pictures for their podcast. So when they have events, he'll be there. So then every time I would see him, he would, you know, talk to me, like ask me stuff like, you know, how you doing? And I would tell him like, yeah, like, you know, I'm really not trying to be a teacher. Like, we would really talk about like real stuff, and he'd be like, okay, so what are you doing? Like, what steps are you taking to get out of this situation? And it's like real, like,
and then you was like, oh no, steps,
right? Like, you want me to think right now? Like, this ain't what I'm trying to do.
I just want to complain right now. I'm like, not in that phase yet.
Why are you so positive all the time? But no, and it was shocking because if you know me, like if you've ever interacted with me, like I'm that positive person. Like I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Like you're great, and that's what he was doing for me. So I was just like, this is weird. Like, what do I say? So I was really like taken aback like every time I saw him. But then the last time I saw him, we had our event. Brunch with Besties had an event. The Good News Radio was here. He came out. He came to both of our events. And we were just talking for a long time. And, you know, we would DM each other, like sometimes like, ha ha, like, look at this or stuff like that. But it wasn't anything serious. But in the back of my mind, I would just be like, so you're not asking for my number, or you not going to like ask me out on a date? Like, this is crazy. But fast forward, you know, I wasn't pressed, and the Chanel before this would have been pressed. Like, why? Like, let's go out. Like, I would have taken that step to be like, let's do something. But I was like, no, like, if he wants to date me, like, he will say that and he'll make it known. And he did eventually. So fast forward, he like messaged me like, yeah, like, let's go out. But then he messaged me at a time when I had just found out that my sister had breast cancer. So I was like, I ain't going. Like, no, like, I don't want to. Like,
you was like, I'm a high value woman, like Matthew Hussey would say.
I was just like, you know what, like, this is just not the right time, because I knew like I wasn't gonna be in the right headspace. Like, I was gonna, you know,
be crying on a date.
Yeah, like, not being me by myself. But I was like, you know what, like, just go, like, just see what he's talking about. And it was a breakfast date, and I love breakfast dates. Like, I think they're super cute. So we went to North Avenue Grill, had breakfast. He was there, like, on time. I think I was late. I'm so ashamed. And this has kind of been a running trend for our dating life. Like, I'll be late. But Sherry just looked at me like, I don't mean to be, but that's another story. But anyway, so I was a little late, maybe. But I get there, he's there waiting for me. The place is busy anyway, so we have to sit and kind of talk. And we're talking, and he looks nice. Like, he really put in effort to look presentable. And I feel like I didn't put in much effort because, again, my mind state was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm just kind of going with emotions. But once we started to talk and he started to tell me more about himself, and I'm like, wow, you're a really nice dude. Like, this is real sweet.
What did you, what stood out, or what made you?
Just his the way he like looked and focused on me, like, he really made me feel comfortable. Like, I want to know more about you. And when I would tell him about me, like, he would ask like follow-up questions, or he would like keep the conversation going. So it wasn't like any like awkward silence or just being engaged. He was very engaged, and it's that's been the trend. Like, he's very like in tune to me and to what my needs are. And, you know, I share with him that my sister was going through what he was going through, and he was very like sympathetic with that and kind of talking me through that. So it was nice. Like, it was a different kind of feel from him, that he knew how to date. That was like step one. Like, he knew what to do. Like, we were talking, he took care of the check, you know, like simple stuff, like open car doors, like all that kind of stuff. Like, he knows what it means to date somebody. He does a good job at that. So that's kind of how that happened. And we've been dating, like I said, consistently since then. So our first date was like June 24th. And here we are in September, and we're still dating. And, you know, I really like him, so I think he's going to be around. I tell him that all the time, and we still date. So it hasn't been like, oh, I'm a date, and then we going to stop and like do these home. No, like, we still go out to places, which is great. And this is my very first time ever dating this long consistently with somebody, even in past relationships. Like, being with people, like, you don't date. Like, we finna stay in the house and watch TV.
Right, yeah.
So...
okay.
Another question?
Well, no, I just want to make sure that we fully answered our vlogger's question.
Yeah, so that's how that happened.
How going from single to dating. So how was that transition?
Oh, going from single to dating? It hasn't been like a jump, like, you know, like I'm here and now I'm jumping here. I still feel like, as me, like, I don't want to be pressed. I keep using that word, but I think when you're dating somebody, you can be. And I think a good example, if you watch Insecure, like, Issa was pressed about Nathan, like, well, I haven't heard from you all day, like, where have you been?
Right.
But that's not me. Like, right. And he's told me, like, when I'm at work, like, I really can't text you. Well, I'm trying not to be pressed.
We need a camera.
Getting better. We do need a camera, because Sherry knows. She know my heart.
I'm just gonna tell it. She's lying.
Okay. There was an instance. I'll go there. So there was an instance where I was like off the chain, and I told him about this too. But, you know, I said I was gonna do like this straight and narrow, but then things happened. And the course of me and him, it kind of changed. And I went off. Like, I was like, I haven't heard from him. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm telling Sherry all of this. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's happening. So I was a hot mess. And Sherry was like, bruh. Like,
no, okay. I think we called my brother.
Yes.
Or maybe he called me, but I was like, I'm at Chanel's house. And then you was like, well, Brother Brian, since you're here.
So Brian was like, okay, so what's going on? Like, do you think
he has a habit of trying to counsel all my friends. Look, y'all need to get y'all own brothers.
He did. Nope, he's our brother now. So Brian was talking to me, and I was really like hurt and sad that I hadn't heard from this guy all day. But then he calls. And
then she was like, all right, Brian, gotta go. Click.
Bye, Brian. Yes.
She hung up on my brother.
I did. No, I didn't hang up on Brian, but I was like, all right, then. But then he and I talk about it, and we talk for like 2-3 hours just on the phone talking. And if y'all know me again, she don't talk on the phone because I just be like, can you just text me? Like, I don't want to talk. So we talked about it, and he understood like what I was going through, and I admit like I was being super pressed, which old habits die hard. I will say that. But from that point, like, there'll be times where I can feel myself going there. Like, dude, you about to go off the deep end. But then I'll get busy. Like, thank God I have this new role. I have the podcast. I have a kid.
You're a high value woman.
Right. So
you have a full life.
Absolutely. It takes me away, and it's just like, okay, well, focus on this. And when he's ready to contact you, he will. Like, he's probably busy too. Like, just stop. So there was a moment yesterday where I was really like, I'm about to be mad at him. Like, you were irritating. But, you know, he has family in town. He has his daughter. So he was like super busy yesterday too. And then when I finally saw him, it was just like, okay, chill. Because he was like, you know, I've been super busy. Like, man, I'm stressed out at work. So I was just like, you were being selfish, bro. So, you know, perspective. And sometimes I have to get myself in check and do some woosahs and talk in the mirror like, girl, calm down. Like, don't be so pressed.
Hey, mirror chick.
Hey, mirror.
Where you been?
Hey, I shouldn't have left you, all that. But so there hasn't been a complete like dive from, oh, I'm single to now I'm like dating. But I have been trying to make sure that I'm still functioning as me and not being so wrapped up in this person. So hopefully that answers your question. And I mean, and me it's kind of different because like I said, I'm exclusively dating this one person. Like, I'm not dating multiple people. But if you are dating multiple people, still, like, you live your life, live your best life, date whomever, whenever.
Don't go back and forth.
You want to. Don't go back and forth with nobody. Word to Pastor Duval. So yeah, I will definitely say that just being that high value woman, living your life, but you know, making sure those people can. You got the door cracked a little bit for them to come in, but you still doing what you need to do. So there you go.
Yes.
That's that.
And I'll make a small comment.
Okay, go.
I like how y'all communicate.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just so refreshing.
It is.
Where, like, one person can just be, like, completely honest, but yet still respectful, and just say, like, this is how I felt about this. And then the other person can just say, you know what? I acknowledge that you felt that way, and I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
Absolutely.
My intention was really this. Or, you know what? Hey, I was just tripping.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's been me. That's been mostly me.
I try to use some discretion on the podcast, but she'll just be like, yep.
Hey, you got to be honest with yourself. Listen, you got to be honest. Don't sugarcoat that. So I'm glad, you know, that's what friends are for. Don't sugarcoat it with me. You know it's me. So
right after I called you out as a liar like 5 minutes ago, but whatever.
Hey, it is what it is. I be lying. Easton said that on Instagram too.
Oh
like,
my God.
And
that
I do
is so
too.
funny.
But nah, yeah, he's a great communicator, man, and he is a good dude. So shout out to him when he listens to this. He supports us too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Shouts out to him.
Yeah.
But he can't send us no Ask a Besties. For everybody else, I was just gonna say,
send us. Yeah, he better not.
Yes, because he's gonna be like, what do you do when one person in a relationship is doing this?
I'll be salty.
It's gonna be like real specific. Right. And we're gonna be like,
I would be so salty. Like, oh no, don't be trying to air me out.
That is so funny. Actually, that has happened before. Scarlett was like reading a blog or something, and someone commented, and it was very clear that the two people that were commenting back and forth were the ones that were in the relationship, because it was just them two the whole way. But somebody wrote the author of the blog or whatever was like, what do you do when one person does this and one person does that? And then the woman in the relationship was like, well, maybe that person just really wanted this. And it just kept going and going.
Oh, I think that happened on the Breakfast Club once too, when they do their like whatever on Monday, like let's call your crush or whatever they call it or something. But that happened too on the Breakfast Club.
Shoot your shot or something.
Yeah,
like that.
shoot your shot. That's what it's called.
Man,
I was like, ooh, no, don't air me out, babe. Okay, because I'm gonna be like.
But everyone else, if you have a question
please
that you would like Chanel or I to answer, please email us.
Yes.
brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com, or you can slide in the DM.
Yes.
Brunch with Besties Podcast.
Absolutely. Yep. Brunch with Besties Podcast
or
on Instagram.
You can tweet us.
Brunch
W Besties.
Yep. Or
podcast?
Facebook.
I don't know. Yeah. Whatever.
Brunch W Besties on Twitter.
Okay.
But Brunch with Besties Podcast on Facebook. Or if you have our numbers and you know us like for real, send us a text. Hey, we want to hear it all.
All right, now it's time for tea time. Even though I feel like that was part of the tea time.
That was good.
It was good. So we are still reading Get the Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're picking up, I think it's chapter 3 or 4.
We should be on chapter 5 because we did 1 through 4 last time.
Okay.
So picking up at 5.
Picking up at 5. Okay. So he talks about the mindset of the chooser.
Mm-hmm.
And how a lot of times we say like, oh, if he really likes me, then he should come up to me.
That's true.
And is that what you were thinking?
That is what I just said. And okay, so I was going back and forth with that, but it's like, because before I was the person that would reach out to the dude, but then when you do that so much, and then it's like, I'm picking the wrong people, like this ain't working for me. Yeah. So then I was like, no, like I'm going to let the guy reach out to me and see how that works out. And I mean, that's how it worked. But I will say, and it's funny because when we had Brian on the show, we talked about that. Like, should women make the first move? And we were both adamant, like, no, like he should never. Yes, don't do it, ladies. But reading this book with it having the basis of just meeting people for the sake of meeting people.
Well, I'll say it how one of our amazing listeners sent us a video, and she said, I feel like, she was like, I talked to a lot of people because you was challenging people on Instagram.
Yes.
And she said, I met a lot of people, and if nothing else, I feel like I planted the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. She was like, so on Instagram, her name is Blackies.
Yep, that's Kiana from Bitches of Brunch.
And she was like, yep, I'm planting the seed. Yeah,
absolutely. I love it. And I love that, everybody who was doing the challenge was really like open to meeting those. So I set a goal that they needed to meet at least 10 people. Now that's men, women, children, dogs, whoever. Like meet 10 people. Okay. And some of them were taken aback. Like I know Marina was very much like, I'm an introvert, like this is gonna be hard, like, but I'm gonna give it a try because I don't know, I'm an introvert. And then she sent us pictures and posts too, like, I was at this event, I went out, I met max 10 people, like right. I did over that.
It's actually easy
once
once it's just like, because you're not trying to get that number, you're just trying to meet, you're just saying, hey, how you doing?
Exactly.
You can do that to 20 people.
Exactly. And that's where that comes in. So doubling back to when we started off on this chapter, I think women can go out there and not just waiting on the chooser, but just talk to people, and who knows, you might spark that interest in him to be like, okay, I do want to pursue her. If you're just talking platonically, there's nothing wrong with that,
right? And that just plants the seed for them to say, like, you know what, she's a nice person,
yep,
so I can try to engage in conversation with her.
Yep, absolutely.
So yes. One of the other things that he talked about was the traits of a desirable woman. So he gave an example about how he wanted to be a DJ, and how he never was a DJ.
Yep.
But he told people that he was a DJ, and then people started asking him to DJ.
Yep. And he was like, oh no.
So then he was practicing at home, and then he DJ'd for free.
Yep.
But then he became, I believe it was in his high school, he was like the go-to DJ. So then he started getting paid gigs, and the point of his story was that the men that you meet have to know that you're high value. So you can't. So he has this whole concept of being a high value woman and what high value women do and what they don't do. But that only works if people know that you're a high value woman.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's not to be confused with being an arrogant woman. Right. But it's saying I know my worth.
Right. Yep.
I know, and I'm not going to settle.
Yep.
And so there's a couple things.
Listen.
That he talks about in terms of letting people know. So he talked about how a lot of times we can go out and meet people, but because we don't want to come on too strong, like we'll X out like any type of sexual tension. Like we'll just be like, no, because I don't want him to get the wrong impression. But there's a difference between being a low class woman.
Right.
So one of the things that he talks about is just that there's a few things that we do that create sexual tension that aren't really sexual.
Right. Like being funny is one, I think. Like having a sense of humor. It's just like is absolutely one.
Flirting a little bit, like you said, just having that interaction, just that building that chemistry.
Yep.
So it's really not even sexual in nature.
Yep.
But sometimes we'll be like so stiff and be like, yeah, it's more of an interview.
Yeah.
Yes, I work for such and such, and you,
man, very rigid and proper, and
yes,
that's you want to. And he says this a lot, like just be cheeky. Like I guess that's the London thing, like be cheeky, like say something cheeky. So and that breaks down walls, like it makes you comfortable when you're talking to that person.
Yes, and how you, in order to do that, like you have to be confident, and how confidence isn't just transferred from your other aspects of your life into your dating life.
Right.
So some people will say like, oh, I'm a boss at work.
Right.
Oh, I own the room. I'm this, I'm that. But you may not show up that way when it comes to dating.
Yep.
And it's so funny because, at Urban Bike Night, like, that's my event. I got people's numbers. I asked for their number, but it was, like, all related to business.
Right. Yep.
Like, I was like, yes, do you have a card?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you'll be really, like, upfront and very confident that they will respond in kind. But at a social place that's not tied to work, I wouldn't do any of that. I'd be like, oh, he looks nice, or whatever, and call it a day.
So I was gonna ask you. So let's call you out. So you've been like Sherry been out here, y'all. Like she's been a social little butterfly, like going to all kinds of things. So did you? No, we not. So
put me on
did Sherry Renee meet her 10 people?
Oh, I met way more than 10 people.
You met way more than 10 people. See?
That night alone at Urban Bike Night.
You met hundreds.
Yes.
6,000.
Exactly.
We
right.
1,300.
Yes.
There we go.
I was going around handing out stuff, asking people if they were having a good time, letting them know what we have to offer at the event.
I love it.
Hyping up the event the week before, So,
see? And she was out there planting some seeds, so you never know.
But that's me when I have a goal in mind. Like, okay, it's Urban Bike Night. Oh, or people are here. This is my event. Are they okay? Do they need anything? I need sponsors. I need, whatever. So I think it's a different element.
Okay.
Because it's not for me personally, right? It's like for the brand.
Right. To build that. So where else did you go? You went somewhere else.
Where else did I go? What you talking about? Girl.
Oh, y'all went to Chicago.
Oh, yeah. You know what? So we thought that there was a game that day, but it wasn't.
Oh, darn.
So, yeah. So did I meet new sores? Yes.
Okay. Well, that was a part of the goal. I said men, women, and children. Hey, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So you did. All right. So we gonna keep going with that. We're going to keep that goal set of meeting 10 people a week. And, it's going to start to filter eventually. So we have to go somewhere.
Well, I'm going to the yacht cruise on Tuesday.
Nice.
So I'll be there representing the company, apparently. I thought I was just going to hang out with a friend. But
wait, you're representing your company?
Apparently so. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, but then there's that party, too, coming up, to the old school party.
There's an old school party. Yes, there is.
Okay.
And I will be there
there's
as
another
well.
opportunity.
And then, there's a lot of things coming up.
Okay.
There's a lot of things coming up. But even at work, just if you're, on a different floor or, so we have like different buildings or whatever. So you see people that you may have never seen.
Right.
Just smiling at them.
Yes.
Whatever,
that's all
saying,
it takes.
Hey, how you doing? There's times where you just end up in meetings with different people that you've never known. We had one last week where we all knew each other, but there was a girl coming from a different department. And so we actually didn't even book a meeting room. We were just like, yeah, we're in the common area. Like, just find us. And so she comes up and she's like, this is the blah, blah, blah meeting, right? And we're like, yeah. And then I was just like, yeah, next time we're going to be like, no. And how dare you interrupt our meeting?
So mad.
Like, you're so rude. So like,
excuse me.
Yes. We're meeting here. But yeah, just breaking that tension.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just getting her at ease. Because I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that she didn't know anyone.
Yep.
So she's sitting here like, okay, and they about to beat me basically.
Right.
And they about to rip me to no one in this meeting.
Into?
Right. So.
But people like that, like, make me like weird too. Like people who are come off like that, but they're joking. Like that's their personality. I just be like, wait a minute.
Right. But I try to do that to put people at ease and, make them feel comfortable.
Yep.
Or sometimes, like, even when I go visit suppliers and they're like, oh, like they want to put on a good impression for our company or whatever. Like, I'll say something ridiculous just to let them know that I'm a human being.
Okay. So y'all hear this. So we gonna take that and take her out of her work environment into like a more social environment and use that same thing.
Understand.
Well, I ain't been there to witness this, so I'm gonna have to make sure I'm stalking
I tell
you
stories as they happen. Okay.
So I'm gonna have to stalk Sherry Renee and make sure she doing this. So yes, but no, Sherry is hilarious and very cheeky all the time.
But I agree though. I was in conversation with my friend actually while I was on my way here, and I was telling her about the one guy that I told you about that I was talking to. I was like, if he texts, he does, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. Like, absolutely. I don't even notice because I got other stuff to do.
Yep, a full plate.
Where it's just like, oh hey,
yep,
how's it going?
Yep, or
whatever, right? So I think that it's just about knowing your worth and knowing who you are and being confident enough to know that they're a person just like me.
Yep.
Right. So it's nothing for me to just extend a courtesy and say hello.
Absolutely.
Or a smile.
Sure.
But again, I do have my times where I don't even want that. Like at the end of every bike night, I was like, I just want to go home.
Girl, I think we was all like,
I spoke to 1,300 people. Yeah. I'm good.
Just go away now.
Go away.
Home.
Yes. Yeah, because the next day at work, oh no, I was back. I was like, I don't even. Nope.
Yeah.
I wasn't even responding to like IMs. No.
I can't talk to nobody else. That was 1,300.
Sitting in meetings, I don't even want to say nothing.
Yeah, no. Girl, yeah.
Do you approve? Yep. Next. Just no.
We was really struggling. Though.
Yes.
Like, okay. All right. Well, that's a great update. So to everybody doing this challenge, keep on meeting your 10 people a week and letting us know.
But one of the things that he talks about is just the spontaneity.
Yep.
So he was saying how it's such... It literally contradicts itself when we say that we want to meet people, but then we ask them questions where we really aren't going to get to know them.
Yep.
So he said how in an effort to get to know people, we'll say, oh, where'd you go to school?
Yep.
Where do you work? What do you do? And then you try to find something like in common, but you would learn a whole lot more about somebody if they told you about their favorite movie.
Yep.
And then he even talked about how people that you have well-established relationships with, the way that you have conversations with them. Like he was like, with your best friend, your conversation goes all over the place. It's not very rigid and structured.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, so what did you do this weekend? Oh, girl, love your shoes.
Yep.
Oh my God. And then like, you're just off talking about whatever. You let the conversation go wherever it goes. And how that's what we should do with strangers.
Yeah, that's true. And then you're talking about being a black woman and you're crying for no reason. Because that's how our conversations go.
Okay. That has happened a couple
times. Oh, man. But no, that totally is how it should be with strangers. And it could be like,
but not the crying
stuff.
part.
Not yet. Don't cry. Because that would be like, oh, you're nuts. So, yeah, don't do that.
Even though that's what happened with me and Lakeisha's mentor.
Really?
Yeah, like we met at her event and then I was like, yes, and I'm gonna get ready to go to Shake Shack, and she was like, oh, can I come with you? And the next thing you know, we sit in Shake Shack crying.
Oh wow.
So, hey, stuff happens.
Hey, well, that was a great conversation then. This person you needed to meet.
It's crazy.
Hey, I'll take it. But yeah, that's good strategy though to have. So I know, and some people are very introverted, but you can be like, okay, so example, if you're like at a bar or something, you could totally, because there's a lot of stuff like going on at a bar. So I think if I was at a bar, this is hypothetically, and I was like wanting to talk to somebody, like I would always bring up like, hey, like, just off base, like, I really like that top. Like, that's dope. Like, I think you dress nice. Like, that's a good starting point. Like, you could start there, and then it could go anywhere from there. Like, oh, I got this top at H&M. Like, oh, no, I don't shop at H&M no more. I'm boycott. Like, that could lead this conversation.
Now we talking about race and politics.
Hey,
Jesus.
we going there. That's totally like
at a bar.
At a bar, how I just be talking to people too. Like, I really, like, something will click in me, and I'm scatterbrained too, so it's not gonna be like, oh, where do you work, what do you do? Like, I'm gonna be thinking about something else as you're talking about that. So that's how a lot of the conversation with the guy I'm dating now goes, like that. Like, he'll be talking about something, and I'll think about something else as he's talking to me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, what about this? And then,
you said, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So our conversations be like everywhere. Like,
no, but he actually talks about how, a lot of times we literally think that we have to go to a bar or something to meet somebody.
That's true.
But it's more likely that you'll meet somebody in your daily routine than you will when you're like, okay, let me get dressed, let me go out, like, let me go do all of this.
Because it's being pressed. Like, you're thinking about it too much.
And like he said, it's more spontaneous. So if you're just at the grocery store or whatever,
that's a perfect place
to meet people. Comment on, if you're looking at plums and someone's next to you, you can comment on them, or you can compliment their top from H&M or whatever.
Yeah, whatever, No, I love that. Grocery store, and another good place, and I think I blogged about this, but another good place to, like, meet the opposite sex is, like, a home improvement store. And I'm not going to steer y'all in the wrong direction, but if you go to a home improvement store on the weekend and you're a woman, it's a plenty of men that will be there.
I will agree to that. I remember Scarlett told me that this one day. Yes. She was like, yeah, just going to hang out at the home improvement. I was like, whoa. But so I was there this one time looking for something, and actually it was really intimidating because that's not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to buy some stuff.
I'm just trying to get some
light bulbs. But I wasn't clear on, so I was buying something and it was like real specific, and I was like looking at it on my phone like, okay, is this it? Is that it? And so it's weird because for me, I'm out of my element in like home improvement stores.
Yes. It's hard in there. It's hard,
man. It's hard. Like, and then everybody in there, they have like the same look because they do work.
Yeah.
Like, and they serious about it. And so even like the customers was like, do you need help, ma'am? You good? What you looking for? What are you doing? And I'm like, look,
you could be all kinds of people.
Leave me alone. Like,
it's overwhelming in here.
Can I shop and be? So then I quit, went home and bought it on Amazon and was like,
so bad. That introvert came out. You was like break.
Like, and then like everybody knew what they were doing and stuff, and I was just like, man,
it is overwhelming.
It's when at the time I was trying to build a closet, like my closet that I have now, but which is a much simpler one that I got off of Amazon that I could like assemble myself and everything, but I wanted to do like a real closet. And so I was at the home improvement store looking at it, but people knew what they were doing, and then they were asking me about different types of wood, like, is it this wood or that? Are you? And I was like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
I just want it to be tight.
Right.
Okay. I just want this closet to be bad. I don't know all that other stuff.
Right.
I'm looking for something like this.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, definitely it's a sea of men.
It is.
But
don't be a lot of,
like he said, a lot of times we think that there's a secret club that men have that they hang out with. Men are wherever you go.
Yeah, they gonna be there.
They are wherever
for
you go.
For sure. And don't get me wrong, there'll be a lot of women at Home Depot too, because that's like one of my mom's favorite stores, like ever. She's always in there.
But one of the things that he said was that, you could there are some things that you can do to adapt. So like if you're going to the gym, don't get on the treadmill with your headphones or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe join a kickboxing class.
Ooh, that's good. Like, I can't get on a treadmill with no headphones, so like that's sad.
He's saying screw the whole treadmill idea. Just do a
do something else.
Yeah.
Okay,
do something that's more interactive.
Like, oh no, okay, I get that. That makes sense then.
Because I know when I had a trainer before, and I would work out with whoever's there, and she would be like, all right, y'all are partners.
Yep.
And it would be a little bit intimidating when she would have us like if I was paired with a guy, because I'm like, oh, he about to kill me.
Right.
Because he's like, y'all doing reps. Because you have to be in tandem with them. And, especially when they would do the push-ups and whatnot.
Right.
But then she built me up so bad that I could keep up with them.
See?
I was like, look at God.
Listen, look at God. So,
but on today I would fail,
girl.
So we ain't gonna go there.
Hey, we not say we gonna try again tomorrow. Like every day's a new day. Okay, every day's a new day. But no, that's definitely something good to think, because I think we get so comfortable in what's comfortable for us and in our shell that what Matthew Hussey preaches, air quotes, in this book is to just kind of not think about it so much and just, I don't know, the way I'm looking at it, just be spontaneous and live. If that's how I want to think about it, just live. Like, I think we think so much about everything and we're not really living things out.
And not only that, but if you're thinking something, say it. Like, if you think that that's a nice jacket that he has on, just say, oh, wow, that's a nice jacket.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to be like, hey, that's a nice jacket.
Right.
Like, you ain't got to do all that.
Yeah. I think it would look good on me. I can't even be sexy. Like, it's so weird.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I cannot be sexy. Like, I might look cute, but I'm going to say something stupid. You're going to be like, what? Like,
but I will say this, though. Sometimes I think that when people like initiate contact, like with me, and they say that their intention is something, and then they end up like, oh, so you want to hang out sometime? I'm like, look,
right, you just jump from here to there.
Right. I'm like, whoa, you said
reverse,
you wanted this, right? Like, oh my goodness,
so bad. But okay, so then thinking about that, like, I feel like you should be able to talk to people, and then maybe it's like, okay, I do want to see you again, like talk further to you. So I don't think it's anything wrong with that, though.
I'm not saying something's wrong with it, but sometimes I think that, you know how like salespeople are, how like it's like manipulative.
Oh, they're doing it to get you to get to that point instead of doing, but we don't know that about everybody.
No, we totally don't. But I think it's better when they just start a conversation versus saying like, yes, I was looking to contact you about this.
Oh, yeah.
And then later they're like, yeah, can I get your number? And you like, look.
No, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's
like, I'd rather they just be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, just talk to me. Right.
Like, hey, you know. Like, don't make it seem like, no, I don't like
totally
stuff like
get that. Yeah, I don't like that either. Because then it's just like, ew, get out of here. Like, no, sir. No, thanks. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that's spontaneity. Is that the word? Yeah, spontaneity.
Hey, it's your pod. Say it however you want.
Okay. You know, that's important. I'm glad he brought that up. And then I think I'm a little farther, so I don't know if this is a part of it, but he was talking about like, the look that men want.
Okay.
He's talking about that, like, you know, before, like, people, well, he's from London, wherever he's from, but he was like, yeah, like, tanned and, you know, muscled and built. Like, we focus a lot on what we look like. That's my mom. But in reality, like, it's deeper than that. It's not just the outside. And for me, that was a huge thing for me. Like, and Sherry Renee had said this before many a time, like, she don't really care about looks, but for me, that was something where I was just like, he need to be fine. Like, I want to make sure that he looks cute, and this is it. And for the most part, like, those dudes who are cute on the outside do be like a-holes on the inside. So definitely not be so focused and pressed on that.
Don't be like, hey,
right, I'm not a a-hole. And you may not,
and then we gonna be like, and you ain't even fine,
right? Like, and you ugly.
That's so trifling.
But no, so not all guys, but there are some guys. Well, at least some guys. Let me reframe this, because it might be some guys that I've talked to in the past gonna be like, so that's how you feel, and I'll be like, well,
we can't win. We're down a rabbit hole.
I know. I done dug myself in a hole.
A creek.
Okay, none of that.
Y'all just forgive us. We didn't mean any of that.
Okay, I didn't. I'm sorry, y'all. But to look at people on the inside, so don't be so focused on that, because you never know what you're going to get if you don't talk to them. Like, that shell is not going to get you.
And I think that's the whole purpose of just being spontaneous and having conversations, like, not with the intent of trying to be with somebody, but just like meeting new people.
Yeah,
like, meeting new people should be a priority.
It should be,
because I know that I have met some people, and now in my mind they fine, but initially I was like, ugh.
Yeah, like, no, I would never.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
No, that's so true. And I think,
get out of the whole type, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, girl, say that again, because for the people in the back, because that was me. I totally had a type.
My brother was trying to give one of my other friends advice last night, and that's what he was telling her. He was just like, sometimes you're overlooking people because you're so fixated on a physical type. But if you just got to know somebody, you realize like, oh my goodness, this person has a lot to offer, and they're what I need. The other thing that Matthew Hussey was saying, he was like, what makes people attracted to us is that unique combination of different characteristics that you don't see unless you get to know someone.
Yep.
Right? So that's why when you have those spontaneous conversations, what ends up happening is you learn so much more than you ever would by somebody telling you where they went to school, what they do for a living, because all that's telling you is like their resume.
Exactly.
So if you want to see my resume, go to my LinkedIn.
Yep.
And
it's not comfortable. Like, it's very, like, you on guard and you're thinking about what you're saying versus spontaneous. Then it's like, oh, like, you just kind of going. Like, you sucked in and you're going with the conversation.
Right. I remember this one time when I was in undergrad, and Nadia had a friend that she wanted me to talk to or something. And I was like, I specifically told her, I was like, so my major was economics. And I was like, one thing that I hate is when somebody starts to ask me like about the economy or something stupid.
Lord.
Like, that's my major. That's what I don't want to talk about this. I talk about it all. At the time I had like 3 or 4 different economic classes. I'm talking about it all day.
Right. And I don't even care. Like,
and so she told him that. So then I started talking to the guy, and he was like, so what do you think about the state of our economy? And I was like, oh my God, good day.
Who says, sir?
Bye.
You don't even know.
Right.
Like, why are you asking me
like,
this?
What is this, an interview? Like, leave me alone.
See, that's people don't know how to have conversations. Like, that goes to show that, like, especially now, like, we've lost so much of that interpersonal conversations due to social media and text messaging and emails and everything else. Like, we really don't know how to have conversations with people face to face. And then on to that, like, we're very much microwave. Like, you just want to have these spontaneous conversations, but people want things right now. Like, it's my money, I want it now. And it's like, no, like, I'm just trying to talk to you. Like, I don't want you to be bae. Like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. It's very simple. But that's where we are today. So bringing it back. And I think this is what we're doing, is having good conversations. So hopefully men are really listening to this. Women are really listening to this, because we do need to kind of backtrack and really learn how to simply have conversations with each other, men and women. And I think we don't know how to do that.
Yeah. I would agree. Well, like you said, the way that our social media is set up, we just don't.
It's easy. Like, okay, I don't want to dig a hole again, but I get a lot of people like in my DM, like guys like talking to me in DM, and then they'll see me in real life and not say nothing to me, and it just be like, bro, like, you slide in my DM all the time, but then you see me like out, and it's just like, you're not gonna say anything to me. So I know people feel comfortable like online or behind the phone or the computer. Yeah. But in real life, it's just like, I'm the same person. Like, we just had a whole conversation.
That happened to me too. That is so funny. I didn't even think about it. I think in my mind, I was just like, well, that was awkward.
Yeah, right.
But then I just like kept going, like, whatever, I don't have time for this. But yeah, because I was like, so
it takes you back.
You
like,
had a whole lot to say.
Right.
In the DM.
Listen, you going back, like, I see the words popping up, like, I know you're typing back, and now it's just like, okay.
Yep. And now you gave me like a head nod.
Right, that's it. Like, okay, and then after the event, they'll slide in your DM again. It's just like, I just saw you.
But then they'll be like, it was good seeing you.
Right, like, okay.
You're like, okay, yep.
You could have told me that when you just synced me. Right. I synced you too. Like, what are we doing? Cool. So don't do that. Don't be like that, guys.
That is so funny.
It's odd. And don't be, again, so pressed about the conversation. Just let it happen, or be authentically you. And me, I'm awkward, so usually the conversations will start off like I'm gonna say a joke or something. Like, I need to feel comfortable in my element.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Yeah.
True indeed. So you know what I'll be doing? I'll send them a crazy beam.
Yes. Man, Sherry Renee is hilarious. Like,
but there's always that slight fear when you're like, ooh, are they gonna get this?
Right. You do think like that. Like, they gonna think I'm crazy, but...
And I was like, well, hey, this is who I am, so whatever.
Hey, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Authentically me.
Is what it is.
So, yeah. Hey, and that's what you gotta do. Be you, but, just take it where it goes, and you never know where it goes. It could be like we said last week, it could be a business relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a mentorship, it could be a relationship. Who knows? But you don't know until you start that conversation.
Yes. Conversation is key. Mm-hmm. It's so funny because I remember a guy told me a long time ago, he was like, the possibilities are endless through conversation. Like, you just never know. Mm-hmm. You never know.
Yep.
And the example that he was giving me, so he's a married man.
Okay.
He was telling me how he was at a conference and how he had on his wedding ring, and this woman came up to him and was trying to get with him, and he was like, oh, maybe you didn't see my wedding ring, like I'm married. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh no, I saw your ring. And that don't mean that. And so he said that's when he learned that's what gave him that whole idea, right? Is that the possibilities are endless, because she's saying, I see your ring, but
it doesn't mean
I'm still gonna ask for what I want, because I'm not gonna let this deter me. And now, while he does not agree
right
with her proposition,
right,
or anything of that nature, what it taught him was that you should never make assumptions. Right, that you have to engage in those conversations.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And I was like, that's a great way to take something real negative and make it positive.
It really is. And I'm glad he handled it that way to kind of let her know. Because I know. And I posted this meme before too. But I feel like when I get married, like, I don't care what you ask me. Like, excuse me, ma'am, can I borrow your pepper or your salt and pepper? I'm married. Like, I need you to know.
Right. They're going to be like, excuse me, I'm married. They're going to be like, you're in my way. Right. Could you move?
That is
like, you're in a grocery store blocking the sugar that they trying to grab, and you're like, I'm married.
Excuse me, I'm married.
It's funny because that's what my dad does to my stepmom.
That is funny.
And we were out to eat for her birthday, and the waitress came over and was like, excuse me, sir. And he was like, ma'am, I am married. I am a married man.
Don't be saying excuse me, sir.
Right. Be talking to me like that, and I'm a pastor.
I cannot. That is so.
And my stepmom was sitting there with her hand, with her head in her hands, like, "Oh my God, I just can't believe this."
At you,
and then he looked at her. He was like, "Baby, I told her."
Listen,
he was like, "You see all these women in here trying to push up on me," and I'm like, "This is
I'm
crazy."
letting them know I'm a married man.
Married man.
Listen, that's gonna be me too, y'all. Like just wait. I don't care what you asking me. So yeah, nope, I'm married.
It's a no.
It's a no. I'm married.
Man, would you like to donate? Nope, I'm married.
I'm married. I can't do it.
Would you and your husband like to donate?
Nope. This is a monogamous marriage. We don't do polygamy over here. What? Just get away.
If we gave you money, then you would become part of our family. We can't have that. So,
I cannot breathe.
That's crazy.
Oh, God.
You should say that to your son.
Oh, God.
Mom, nope, I'm married.
Nope, I'm married, JR.
You're like, but you're my mom. Nope, married.
Nope. I'm married. My husband.
He don't your husband.
JR be like, oh, girl, bye. Like,
he gonna be praying for a divorce. That's crazy.
Right. No.
One of the things that he talked about too was that a lot of times women say that we don't have time for relationships.
Oh,
that's
a word.
He talked about how we will go hard for work, for school, and for everything else, and be fully committed. But then we'll say like, oh, if I happen to find the right guy, then I'm all in. But he said he compared it to someone saying, once I get fit, then I'll commit to going to the gym.
Makes sense.
Like, once I lose weight, then I'm all in. And it's like, no, you have to have that space and that time already be in existence and commit that to just being social.
Yep. And like anything else, when it comes to relationships, like, you have to be conscious about what you're doing. You hear a lot of women say, I'm waiting for the right man. I'm doing this, but the right man is not going to fall through your window and just show up. He's not going to magically appear.
Margarita used to tell me she like this one time, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was in grad school, I don't know. But I was like super busy, and I was like, dude, I don't have time for none of that. That's what I was saying. And he says that that's really like a defense mechanism. And when you're busy, when you want to be so busy, you're trying to avoid something.
Yep.
And so I remember Margarita called me this one day, and I was like, girl, I ain't got time for that. She's like, you want to go here? And I was like, nah. And she's like, sure, the only man that's going to meet you is the mailman or the delivery man.
Hey.
And I was like, I ain't trying to meet no man.
Lord, that's not really what I want.
That's not what I'm trying to do right now.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're not in that space to be like, okay, I'm really not trying to, like, that's not my focus right now. I don't think it's anything wrong with that. But I do think it is when you know in your heart that you would like to take the steps to do that. And I think
that's what it is. Like, you have to be honest with yourself and say, am I just saying that I'm not trying to do that right now? Or am I really focused on something else? And even if I'm focused on something else, one of the things that he highlighted was it is still important to have some level of a social life. It enhances the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it only builds into those the little baskets or whatever. The more people you go out and meet, it only helps you in the end to find somebody who you know you want to be with, because you have this plethora of people like, oh, I know this person, and the person that you're ultimately gonna be with, they say, is like somebody that you know anyway. So
yeah, I think, remember that thing that we saw? It was like, by the time you're 25, you've probably already met your husband.
I think it said 21.
21? Oh, no.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, no.
why? No. Right, and I want to go back and be like 18 again and meet everybody. Hey, how you doing?
Right, I need to do this over because I didn't meet enough people. Because by 21, oh, no.
Oh, I see you have on blue and gold.
Yes.
Me too. Did you go to Marquette? Oh, no. Just like the color? Cool.
All of that. Like, yes, go back in time, and I need to just get out there and meet everybody, because by 21,
hey, sir, how you doing? Hey, ma'am. Cute kid.
Listen, I like your dog. Like, all of that.
Oh, he bites, doesn't he? Just meet everybody. Like, oh, no.
No, yeah.
21.
Yeah, it said 21. I was like, no.
Oh, God.
No way. No way. But it's funny because when you meet people and you start talking to them, and then it's like, you cross paths like indirectly with that person. Have you ever met people like that? Like, even with my son's father, like, we would talk, and meeting him, he was like, yeah, I went to MEC and I had to get this award thing, and I was like, I was there too. Like, we had met like prior indirectly, and it was just like years later then we like got together. And the same thing with the guy I'm dating now. Like, he was like, yeah, I used to work at Mesmer, like I was coaching for basketball, and I was like, me too. Like, I worked there. And I was just like, that is so crazy. Like,
really?
Yes. Like, how you could just cross paths with people and not like pay attention crazy. Or notice them. So yeah,
that's crazy.
And that happens a lot. So usually, like, the people that you end up being with, like, you're gonna have some type of connection or experience with them, like,
well,
indirectly.
You know what, my dad and my stepmom, my stepmother is actually my dad's best friend's sister.
Wow, see, that's crazy. Are they still best friends?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so I agree. And then there's a whole lot of other connections that happened along the years.
Okay.
But sometimes it's about timing.
That's true. Timing is everything.
Hey, or the seed being planted, right?
The seed was planted, but timing is everything. And yeah, you just got to wait for that timing. But you don't know those things until you have those conversations to be like, oh, wow, like, we've crossed paths before, like the same people, or, things like that.
And you really never know who you're in proximity with if you don't have a conversation.
Yep.
So,
yeah. For sure. So that's usually how it always happens for me. I'm just like, that is so weird. So, yeah.
That's crazy. So, yes, there are several of you on this journey with us. So
yes.
Share your stories, tag us, throw shade at us if you must.
Yeah, hey, go ahead.
We're accepting of that as well.
We're good sports. We can laugh.
We do get a good laugh out of it, though.
Laugh
because that one day when both of them came at us, we was like, whoa.
They was funny, though. The Jay-Z meme is funny. Like, man. I've seen tons of them, and he just... Hove, like, you just keep getting caught. And I don't know what the problem is. Like, is this just Beyonce's photographer that keeps catching you looking a mess? Like, bro, be like, don't tag me in this. Like, don't post this picture. Because he just keep getting caught looking crazy. And she always looks, like, flawless. Yeah. And he'll be looking crazy. Like, goodness. But that one was hilarious with the spider. And it's so accurate, though. Like, that's what made it funny, because it was true.
Oh, yeah. That's totally me.
Yes. I was like, that's so Sherry. Like, this is perfect. Truth, it will set you free. And then the other one about, like, I just want to find somebody who loves me that likes chips and queso and will kill the spiders.
I was like, that was the perfect meme right there, man. I almost thought that she made it up. Yeah. But then I looked at it and I was like, because I was like, she really came for us. But then I was like, oh no, she just reposted. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm like, if that's not me and Sherry Renee together, like, listen, you got to like
that should be like our
queso and the chips, and you got to kill the spiders.
Yeah,
that should be like those are prerequisites to be with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's how I know it's love.
It is love.
Yeah. Yes. If Jay-Z would have been on his tippy toes when he did that, then that would have been me. Because I'd be like, oh my God, why? Like. But he was pointing like, look, it's right there. Get it.
That meme is it's hilarious. So send us more of that. Send us your Ask a Bestie questions. And read with us in this book. It's really dope and insightful. And if you're a guy, we want to hear from you. Let's hear from some guys this
week. If you're married, we want to hear from you.
Married people.
What does your story look like? Mm-hmm. And tell us if you disagree. Tell us.
Yes, we want to hear all of that.
Tell us, because this is from, as my friend Toyana would say, the Book of Matthew. Hussy.
The Book of Matthew. Hussy. Yes. No, and he's been dropping a lot of meme gems himself, if you follow him on Instagram. So be sure to read with us using our Audible trials free for 30 days. Shout out to everybody who's newly getting it. Thank you.
Yes, the link is always in our show notes, and it's also always on our Instagram page at Brunch with Besties podcast.
Yep. So hit our link tree and get all those links there. Yep.
All right, so let's do the to-go box. What are we taking away?
Wow. So I'm going to take away to just live your life, not being so pressed about, things, and at a time, especially for us, I'm gonna speak for me, for Chanel in general, like getting older. I'm almost 32, and it's just like, I thought I would be married.
I'm like 32, but I guess
it's real. It is coming. That's crazy.
We just in our 30s now. We ain't gonna say no age.
You're right. 30 something.
I'm a 30.
30 something.
Yeah, I'm a 30 something.
But yeah, so 30 something, and when looking back, when I was younger, I thought I would be married, have my 2 kids and a dog, white picket fence. You had those ideas, but since I don't. It's okay, and to be okay that didn't happen, and to not be so pressed. So praying that things do go well with the guy I'm dating now. But if it doesn't, I'm still building a life for myself that I can fall back on and be happy with that. If that's the right thing to say. But praying that it does work, because he is a great guy. But if it doesn't, I'm doing really good things. I'm proud of myself. So
you're a high value woman, my friend.
Come on, boo. You are too. See, birds of a feather.
Flock together. But so my takeaway is that you say press the whole lot.
Listen, it's real. I want y'all to know. Don't be pressed.
She's trying to emphasize.
I'm just saying
that you shouldn't be pressed.
Listen, that's gonna be I'm keeping that up here.
My takeaway is just the spontaneous conversation, right? Just knowing that the right way to get to know somebody is not to ask them what they do or where they went to school, right? It's really to find out their character and their beliefs, their values, their morals, and you can see a lot more of that. There's a whole lot more color to that when they're just engaging in real conversation. So real conversation, like they could just tell you about a movie that they saw, what they liked about it, because they're going to give it to you from their lens.
Yep.
They're going to highlight the things that stood, and that reveals so much more about them. So yes. And also, so I've been watching Married at First Sight, but I'm going back.
Oh, you started with the first season?
I saw the first season whenever the first season came out, but then I quit, and then I picked up on season 7.
Season 7?
Yeah.
That's where they at right now?
They're on season 7. It's crazy.
No, maybe that was season 6, because season 6 had the 2 black people, right?
Okay, every season has 2 black people.
No, but this one was like the black dude, he was like a teacher, and the wife was like a hairstylist. And his name was like Genty or something.
Okay,
like
so that was season 6.
Okay.
So season 7, there's another black couple.
Okay.
Well, I guess the woman is biracial,
but the dude black.
Yeah.
Didn't they get divorced?
So it's still, that season is still going on.
Oh, okay.
But but I went back and I was like, well, what happened in season 6? And now I'm like, well, what happened in season 5?
Yeah.
And what I find so amazing, so with Jeffy in season 6,
yeah,
it was crazy because, you know, when they first met at the altar, they both seemed to be excited, like, yeah. But then he became, like, real standoffish with her. Like, he would sleep in a different room.
I watched that season too,
Yeah. But then, like, as things progressed, then he seemed to become more attached. But by the time it was time for decision day, they still weren't in love, you know. But they committed to stay together. And I believe, didn't she end up getting pregnant?
Yep,
or something?
They're having a baby. They still married. Yep.
And so now I'm watching season 5, and I'm watching this other couple. They're not black, but the guy is kind of acting like Jeffy, where he's like, yeah, I just kind of need my space. Like, maybe I'll go sleep on the couch. Like,
that's an experiment, man. Like,
that's a heck of an experiment.
It is. It really is. Because I think that's normal to be like, this too much. Like,
and you know, because at first I was like, well, okay, well, it is a lot, right? Because if you are single and you're independent, then now all of a sudden somebody's in your space, which, you know, I would have a big problem. Well, so for me, when I was thinking about Jeffy and the girl, I was like, if I was him, she would be a lot for me too.
Yes, she was,
because she's kind of draining.
She was like, she went head first, like she was all into the marriage, and I would
legit be like, okay, I'm gonna go sleep in my place. You know, I'm fine with people being around, but I don't want you to be, I don't want to have to entertain you the whole time. Like, we don't need to be engaged the whole way through. Like, just be here. And just, I'll do my thing. Like, I like comfortable silence. That's really what I like.
She does.
Thank God for comfortable silence.
That is very true.
Sometimes me and Toyana just sit on the phone in silence.
Yep, that's true. Like, and we've lived together before, so that's all true.
I do. Like, I need peace of mind.
Yeah.
It ain't nobody gonna mess with that.
And for Jeffy, and I don't remember the wife's name, that could have totally been like a cultural thing too, because he was from like the island, and she was like American. I don't know where he was from, but he
was from Haiti.
Okay, I'm like, he was from some, so...
Yeah, but I don't know, because I think he had a big family. So I just think that she for some people, for him, because he's very introverted, I think that she was a lot.
She was
to adjust and adapt to. And then you got cameras too.
Yeah, ooh,
I would have been and cussed the camera crew out.
That's an interesting show. And then to watch, we got so on this tangent, but anyway, to think about the validity of it, like as seasons progress, I was like, okay, well, how valid is this? Because I feel like now the people don't seem like they just want to be married. I feel like they was just doing it to be on TV with the later seasons. Because I was watching it too, like from season 1. Because Scarlett, she had me watching it because we were talking about it. Because I was like, would you ever like go on this show? And she was like, yeah, I could totally like see myself going on this show.
Do you think you could do it?
I told Scarlett, like, if I wasn't a mom, sure, I would think about it, but not being a parent. And I think it's a season past, like one of the people had like a kid, and I was like, how could you do that? Like, I don't think I could do that with JR, because that's just, not only am I like changing my life, but now I'm changing his too, and I don't think that's fair.
But that's what would happen if you got married.
But then we would ease into it, right? It's a slower progression. Like, we would ease into that versus like, hey, here's my husband. Say, hey, Dad. Like, no, this is too much.
That's kind of a lot, huh?
Yeah, so I couldn't do it with a kid. But if I was single, that would totally be something I would think about. If you have to be in the mindset to really be like, I want to be married. And I think in these later seasons, people are just doing it to be on TV, not really like, I really think I could be married to somebody. Like, I want to do this.
So, I want to say it was season 6. Oh, my goodness, I can't think of the characters' names. The characters.
The character. Right, that's what they are. The blonde chick and the buff dude didn't have a job.
Yes.
Yeah, them too. I was just like,
okay, but he was all in.
He was.
Like, he lost his job. Yep. He was trying to commit and everything. And she was like, I just don't find him attractive. And I was like, okay, but in episode 1 and 2, you thought he was fine.
Exactly.
And he's the best looking guy on here.
And then he like threw it in her face, like, well, you just had a threesome like a random person, but you don't want to be intimate with me. I'm your husband.
Yeah.
So she was playing, yo.
I don't know. I just don't think she was in.
Yeah, she wasn't in at all. She like married to somebody, like, that's huge. Like,
but I
really
do think that what the show does is it exposes who you are under threat, and that's who you are at your core. You know what I mean? True. So like the one girl who like thought that was always insecure about if the guy really liked her or not because he liked brunettes and she would dye her hair blonde. Like, I think that all of that just comes to the forefront, you know?
That's true.
So, and then the other girl putting up walls and not wanting to, like, really, like, they were kind of building a friendship, but then she started talking to another guy at the bar. Like, she was doing everything that she could in my mind to make sure that this marriage was going to fail.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, how you going to talk to another guy at the bar in front of your husband?
She was doing the most. And I felt so bad for him because I was like, he was, like, really trying.
But he got with the expert.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, wow. The expert was like, I'll take your man
from you. Hey.
I cannot. But they're doing like a spin-off show now, like of people who was on the show and then they like gonna be doing some other stuff.
Man, that is crazy. So yeah, that was a total random tangent.
But that's a good show. Married at First Sight. Watch it.
But the reason why I like it is because I think it's easy for us to sit back and judge these people that's on there, I think that they're still a reflection of us. Like, I think it's heightened because they're under pressure.
Yeah.
But if you're an insecure woman, then that girl is probably you.
Yes.
You know? And the self-sabotage woman, hey, that's still us.
That's
that's
me for sure.
Man, yes. You think you self-sabotage?
I do self-sabotage for sure. I do. And I told him that, like, I need you to know that that's what I'm gonna try to do. So I need you to be aware of what's gonna happen. Because we did the
love language.
We did that. Yes. Okay. So we know each other's love language, and we also did
Enneagram. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
I'm like, what's that? Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk to you about that after. But we did the activity that Keita did with us at the event. So we did our hearts and we wrote letters to each other's hearts. So yeah. So I talked about that in my heart, and he wrote back to my heart. I got the letter too in my purse.
You gonna read it?
I don't want to read it.
Look, I'm pushing all the boundaries. You gonna read it on there? Don't worry, listeners. I'm gonna post it. Just follow us. I'm gonna sneak in her purse. I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'm gonna post it.
But no,
her heart is your heart.
Say, here's her
and
heart.
Your heart is her.
But no, it was dope. So I think it's important to do things like that, those activities and exercises, because then you get to know.
So
people
just
more.
to let you guys know what the heart exercise is, Lakita Denise Codwell came on our podcast, and she invited us to an event where we were speakers. We talked about purpose. But before that, she had us do a heart exercise. So everyone there had to do a heart exercise. And basically, you draw a heart. In the center of your heart, you put what your desire is. But then you draw cracks in the heart. And that's everything that you feel is keeping you from the desire that you have.
Yep.
Then you title your heart. And then you give it to someone else. And that person reads your heart. And then they write a letter to your heart.
Yep. So that was like our 10th date. But we did that. And it was tight. So
you was crying.
I didn't cry. No, I did. We had a different day where I was like, but no, I didn't cry at that one. But it was nice that his letter was like really tight. So yeah. So yeah, good job. But the idiot, what is that? The idiot
Enneagram?
What's that?
It's a personality test. It goes from 1 to 9.
Oh, we talked about that on the show. Okay. Yeah.
So 9 is like the mediator. 8 is like the bully. I'm giving y'all like not the real names.
But we talked about that too. And I remember it said like the sabotager, and I am a self-sabotager for sure.
So yes, 9 is the peacemaker, 8 is the challenger, 7 is the enthusiast, 6 is the loyalist, 4 is the individualist, that is Sherry Renee, 3 is the achiever, 2 is the helper, 1 is the reformer. The thing that I like about the Enneagram is that it tells you who you are under threat. So it tells you all the positive things about you, but then it tells you all the negative. So all of these have positives and negatives.
Okay.
You know, so like, for example, for me, the individualist, another word could be the drama queen. And while I'm not an actual drama queen, under threat, which is like when I see a spider, I will act a fool.
Yeah. That's true.
Now, if you cheat on me, I'm not gonna act a fool.
Right. Well, I don't know.
I did that one time, but that wasn't for cheating.
Okay, that was for
something else. I was very kind. Okay. I was like,
I said okay, see ya.
But no, like if you show me a spider, I will have I don't know. It's just something is wrong with it.
Hey.
I think that there are certain things that when it happens, it's just like, I know how I'm going to respond. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just leave you alone.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just
you
not
can walk
be
away.
with you.
Yeah,
right.
you can walk away.
But when I see a spider, the reason why it's so dramatic for me is because, number one, I'm never planning on it. So it's like a big surprise.
Yeah.
And it's in my space. And I feel like you literally invaded my space.
Yeah.
Now, if you bring a girl in my house and cheat on me, maybe I'll act the fool in. I don't know.
I would hope so. Like, y'all got to die.
but when I see a spider, like, and some people are like, oh, don't kill it. Kill it.
Yeah, like, it has to die. Like, if I know it's alive.
Romeo must die.
Yeah, you gotta
like, and the thought of something crawling around in my space.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, ugh.
And
Jesus.
that's how I am too. Like, I'm not, like, I'll be scared, but I'm like, it gotta die. So then I have to give myself a pep talk to kill it. Cause I'm like, it gotta be dead.
I used to kill them by spraying them, and then so this one time I called my mom over at like midnight. She came over. She had such an attitude.
Poor Mama Barb.
And she had her scarf on.
I know she was mad.
And she was so like her face, and I was like, it was actually a centipede.
Oh yeah, those are the
and
worst.
I sprayed it. And
it was still
it got
going.
caught in the spray, and it, you know, with all the legs, and oh my God.
Yeah, centipedes are the worst.
Yeah, and then I remember one time I sprayed one and it like ran in the closet. So I was like, you got to look for it.
Right.
I'm not going to stay in this house.
Yeah. You said abandoned ship.
Man, abandoned ship.
How about here?
I can't. Like, that's just not okay.
I cannot. No, we might have to do that one. We haven't done that one yet. We did like the color code one.
The Enneagram?
That one is like, we did it with my job too, so it like gives you like 2 colors based off of your childhood. So yeah.
What's that one called?
Girl, don't give me the line. I'm gonna have to search for it, but I did do that one.
Okay, well, we'll have to talk about our different personality types, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. It's just called color code personality science. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But that was a good one.
Well, maybe we can have our listeners do it with us, and then we'll take on our colors, and we'll gang up and see.
Yeah, let's see. And that one, like I said, it takes information like how you were as a kid and how it shows up now that you're an adult. So, yeah. So do all of that. And continue to listen to Brunch with Besties podcast. We appreciate y'all for real.
Yes, we do. We love y'all. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time. Peace.
Thanks, guys, for listening to Brunch with Besties podcast. Be sure to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, now YouTube, and Google Play. Basically, we airware. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review and rate us. We would so appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to find us on Twitter. Our handle is BrunchWBesties. On IG, you can find us at Brunch with Besties Podcast. And if you'd like, you can shoot us an email. Our Gmail is brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Peace.